Hey guys, Matt here, and today I would like to address my fellow gentlemen of the heterosexual persuasion. Fellas, it has come to my attention that a lot of us are not very good at Tinder. I mean, between websites like Straight White Boys Texting and Instagram accounts like Tinder Nightmares, it's pretty clear that most of us have a pretty weak Tinder game. And if you still don't believe me, just talk to any woman who has been on the app for more than an hour. Now this is kind of a shame, because I feel like Tinder can be a great way to meet new and interesting people. Now personally, I am excellent at Tinder. Every time I'm active on the app, I get a lot of matches, a lot of messages, and honestly, every girl I've met on Tinder has been pretty damn cool. I mean, they're always really fun, really sweet, really interesting, and even if we never saw each other again after the initial meeting, at the very least, it was a fun time getting to know them. So guys, if you haven't had much luck on Tinder yet, never fear, because I'm going to give you a crash course on how to make the most of every aspect of your Tinder profile and usage. So here we go. Okay, now let's start with the most obvious thing, the pictures. Now your first instinct will probably be to use photos that make you look like you're auditioning for a modeling gig. And this is understandable, because you are going to need pictures that make you look aesthetically pleasing. However, what I found to be more important than having pics that make you look good is having pics that make you look interesting. Because you don't want to look like just another basic bro. You want to stand out. So I would say forego using the pictures where you're flashing blue steel, and instead use pictures that really highlight your personality and your interests. Now take my photos for example. Alright, now this is the main picture on my profile. Very masculine, I know. This right here is me showing my true colors at a Halloween party. And this is one of my favorites. This is me claiming my rightful place as Matthew of the House Vandernost, first of his name, King of the Andals, the Roinar, the First Men, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, and Protector of the Realm. And this is me hanging out at a wedding with my dad. Now this combination of photos shows women that while I certainly have a playful and a geeky side, I can also suit up and rock a formal event with the best of them. And at the end of the day, you need to have a diverse group of photos that showcases multiple aspects of your personality. Because this shows women that you are a complex, intriguing, and multifaceted individual. One last thing about the pictures that should really be obvious is to fucking be honest, guys. Don't use photos that misrepresent how you look right at this very moment. Because if you meet someone and you don't look at least as good as you do in your Tinder pictures, then about an hour into the date, the girl will have an emergency that she needs to leave for. The next thing we need to discuss is the About section. I feel like a lot of guys don't give enough attention to the About section on their Tinder profiles. And this is probably because most guys won't read the About section on a girl's Tinder profile, even though they most certainly should. But fellas, let me tell you, a girl will read every letter of your About section before ever messaging you. Oftentimes, they'll read it before even swiping right or left, so make it count. Mainly, the About section needs to drive conversation. It needs to have things that a girl could use as icebreakers with you. But it shouldn't just be you giving a list of things you like, because everyone does that. And again, you want to stand out. You know, it needs to be funny and engaging while very subtly giving information about yourself. But you don't want to give too much though. You just want to give a little information while implying there is much more to learn about you. Now this is one thing on my About section that a lot of girls comment on. Pro tip. The best way to woo me would be to make or bring me banana bread. Fair warning, I may propose on the spot depending upon the quality of said banana bread. And this is completely true, by the way. If a girl were ever to bring me banana bread, she could make me go from 0 to husband in about 0.6 seconds. Alright, now that we've covered your personal profile, let's move on to the actual messaging. First and foremost, when messaging a woman on Tinder, don't be a dick. As a man, I'm frankly kind of ashamed that I feel the need to say this, but this is clearly way more prevalent than it should be. Just hearing stories from my female friends about messages they've been sent on Tinder makes me wonder why any woman would actually choose to be on this app. So please, don't send anything crude or overly sexual right off the bat, and don't send any mean messages simply because a girl politely rejects you or doesn't respond to you right away. Because first of all, that shit will never work. And second of all, it's straight up harassment. And if you do that to a woman, online or otherwise, then you deserve this to happen to you. That's your face. Now, on other dating sites like OkCupid or Plenty of Fish, it's pretty much understood that you have to lead off with a unique and interesting first message. But on Tinder, I feel like you can get away with being a little more casual with your initial messages. It certainly doesn't hurt if you can lead off by saying something really interesting, but honestly, I've had plenty of success simply by saying, "Hello there, how are you?" And I think there's a couple reasons for this. One, the fact that you can only message people that you've mutually matched with kind of takes the edge off a little bit. And if you match with someone, it implies that that person is at least open to speaking with you. Also, it helps that Tinder isn't a website, you know? It's an app for your phone. And as such, it makes it feel a lot more just like regular texting, which pretty much is second nature to everyone at this point. Now the newest feature on Tinder is Moments, where you can instantly send a picture to all of your matches. Now personally, I actually haven't used that all that much. Not for a particular reason, just because the mood has never struck me. So with that, honestly, I think as long as you don't send a dick pic, I think you'll be okay. The last piece of advice I'm going to give you is this. After you match with a girl, spend as little time talking with her on Tinder as possible. The moment you think it's a good opportunity to ask her out, go for it, man. Because honestly, I think Tinder should be used just to meet people, and you should save actually getting to know the person for when you're face to face. Because ultimately, that's how real chemistry is created. Alright, so, in summary, to make the most out of your Tinder experience, you need A. Interesting photos. B. An about section that encourages conversation. 3. To send nice messages. And 4. To meet IRL as soon as possible. These are the things that work for me. I sincerely hope they work for you. Alright guys, happy swiping.